Yes, sir. Hey, Nino, we right here in the madness of March. We wouldn't be talking college football, would we?
Oh, come on.
We
Come on.
would.
It's all about college football. I don't want to hear nothing about this March Madness garbage. Come on.
We wouldn't be doing that. Welcome to another marvelous episode of Overreaction Monday. I am the governor of college football, and with me is a guy that needs no introduction, the mayor of college football, my guy, my brother, Nino Brown, my partner in crime. Hey, Nino, you had the wonderful opportunity of visiting Chestnut Hill for Boston College 2024 Pro Day. Killed it while you was there. Plethora of content that you made out of that. What was that experience like? And was this your second year in a row?
I missed last year,
Okay.
but we didn't make it. Although the people at the Fish Field House thought I was there. It felt like I had been there already. So which was cool, which means I'm kind of coming to be a regular. You know what I'm saying? But it was different for me. Last year on the Halfley, I started out, a couple practices, went to the spring game, and then we went from there. I was a half hour early. Okay. I was late. I don't like that shit. You know how I am. I opened the door. Here's Bill O'Brien addressing 24 NFL scouts. I open the door. He turns around, looks at me. I'm like, yo, what? Come on, man. Why you got to set me up like that? You know what I mean? So, but whatever. He came by. He came over us. I was with my guy, Kevin Stone. Shout out Kevin Stone from the New England Football Journal. Stand-up dude. Really good. Does really good local content. We were just cutting it up, and here comes Bill. Walks on over, shakes his hand, introduces us to us. He's like, oh, you know this guy? He's got a cot in the back, man. He just lives here. He cleans up well too. So he's cool. He's busting chops, but you can see that the culture has changed. You can see how he had the attention of all these, 24 scouts.
That quickly?
Oh, you could hear a pin drop in that place when my man started opening his mouth. When he walks over, people stop talking. It's and it's not a knock to Halfley. I love Halfley. I think he's a great coach. I think what he did for the program was great. But like, you're getting a guy who's been up there for a long time, whether it's the NFL, whether it's, Alabama, Penn State, he's been the dude for a minute, and you can see the respect is instantaneously earned, when he's there. But it was just cool being around scouts, getting in the measurements, the training, watching, Jason Maitre, former BC guy, went to Wisconsin this past season and came back for his pro day. 37 foot vert. Like, my man was up there doing his thing. And then, offensive lineman, Kyle Hergel, dude, this dude put up 30 reps at 225. That place was going bananas. I had to double check to make sure it was right, but he was confident in the post game interview and the post pro day interview. He was confident. He says, he knew that was something he was going to do. He had spoke to a couple scouts at the Shrine Bowl, and he was like, yo, just if you're going to be coming, to Boston, I'm going to show out again. So don't worry about it. So it was cool. Like I said, a lot of things. Elijah Jones, Mahogany, those are cool as cucumber. They knew they didn't have to go through everything they've done. Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, and Combine. They had it locked down, but it was just a cool experience. Like I said, the culture has changed, and I expect a lot of good things to come out of BC this year.
It's you have magnetic energy when you're able to change something this quickly. Like you said, the respect factor is different. It seemed like, the seriousness knob has been turned up a little bit more. That's fantastic to hear. Let's get into some rapid fire one-liners. So we were just talking about BC. Better record, Boston College 2023 or Boston College 2024?
Boston College 2024, easily. And I'm not saying it like, oh, they're going to run away with get 6-7 more wins. No, I'm saying easily because I think that they're going to win the games they are supposed to win handedly. Okay, they're not going to have to come back in the fourth quarter or overtime to win these games. I think what they're building, a lot of players on that offensive side of the ball that are buzzing right now. And on the defense, apparently this strength and conditioning coach they got from Florida has got these boys swollen. All of them, all 8 guys at BC that trained, they were all ripped up. I'm like, oh, okay. I see what's popping over here. So, I expect them to hit the ground running. It's not going to take up until week 4. They don't have time week 4. Week 1 against Florida State, let's measuring stick. Let's get out there and swing it around and show them what we got. And I think you're going to see a team that's prepped and ready to go. They're stretching 7 minutes. That's it. 7 minutes of stretching. Get to the program. Let's get it. Drills. You mess up, they're calling you out. Run it back. There's no messing around. They're down, hitting, pads popping. helmet smashing. Like, this is as much as they can do in the spring, but they're doing it to the max.
I've always been a fan of Bill O'Brien because of the accountability piece. And that's what you're going to get. So you were there the entire season last year.
Mhm.
We're talking about spring camp. We're talking about fall camp. A lot of these practices and things of that nature. So for you to see the change and you kind of like a fixture around there now, that's marvelous. So I'm looking forward to BC, and I know you have some huge aspirations for them. And I think I have to agree that there's a path that they could be playing an ACC championship game.
Or close to it, somewhere in
Mm,
that realm. But look at already, right? Already the young guys, the guys that came over, Trishawn Ward, Morales, tight end from UNC. They were there. They were in the crowd, going, cheering on their guys, checking them out.
wow,
Tommy.
they're buying into the
Oh yeah,
program.
Tommy Castellanos was out there, right out there, boom, giving hugs, dabs up with the people. So they know what's up, man. It's the culture. It's a vibe, and they're gonna ride this one.
That's fantastic to hear. Ohio State has a loaded wide receiver room, and Jeremiah Smith is already turning heads, losing his black stripe on his helmet at just 4 practices. Can he start this year, Nino?
That's a loaded question.
I know.
You were very vague. And when can he start week 1? Can he start a game? Can he start at some point this season?
Okay. Can he be a starter in week 1? I guess would be the question to make it a little bit more difficult, because I believe he will be starting at some point this season.
I think he's going to be starting within the first 4 to 6 weeks. Week 1, I don't know if he'll be a week 1 starter. I mean, listen, the kid's got his black stripe removed, first freshman since Garrett Wilson in 2019, right? I mean, like, just the vibe of what you. First of all, he's 6'3", 215, the grown ass man at 18 years old. Right? You know what I'm saying? 88 catches for like 1,400 yards and 19 touchdowns. That's great. Like, Dino is in chat here, so I know he's gonna love this. My man got a 14.34 100-meter hurdle, not just a 100-meter hurdle. So he's fast, he's athletic. And the way that they are talking about him in this is absolutely crazy. He's made all these stupid catches. And the thing that I love is what Hotline and Day have said. Like, he's like got veteran presence. When he makes a mistake, it's fixed instantaneously. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go sulk in the corner, complain. Boom, fix, get in the grind, go. They said he's got a leadership already at 18 years old. Like, I know they got all this, like the Julio. He is the epitome of like the Julio Jones comp. Everything in his game, he's got. You got Brandon Innes saying like he has to play, right? Devin Brown, right? Mr. Burn the boats. He's calling him a freak, right? You got like Denzel Burke came out and just said straight out like he's the next great Ohio State receiver. So this kid's getting in there. I mean, his catch radius is stupid. His body control is absolutely stupid, right? He's a semi-technician because you think he's just like a freak, but he can get you with his footwork and his route running. And he doesn't get like, post catch, sleep on him. And the next thing you're going to be doing is sleeping when he blows right by you and it goes for a big yardage or a touchdown. This kid checks every single box that you want. You want him, the ball ain't coming to him. That's all right. I can block. I can put a guy on his backside and spring you. Like, whatever you want him to do, this kid can do. I think Innes better watch out because, I think there's a good chance that Jeremiah Smith's going to eat into a lot of his time and share. And Tate as well. If they do not step up, they're going to get stepped over.
Yeah, it's rare you see, because typically a guy like that, you want to humble him. When you bring him to cat, show him how we do things, haze him a little bit. But when you see players just gushing over the natural talent at 18 years old, he physically looks ready. That is crazy to me.
Stupid. Absolutely. And there's no haze in this kid. Like, there's nothing. I don't know if there's a better wide receiver on the squad. Pure talent, I don't think there is. I love Luka, but I don't think he talent for talent, like just pure pedigree. I don't. No way. I think this kid's going to be. No way he plays more than 3 years, and he's gone. Right? Like, Hotline sees this is his baby. This is his way to get out and go to get a head coaching shot. Right? I brought this freak in, and I didn't mess this one up. I did everything. I put out, follow the yellow brick road, and I held his hand the whole way to the NFL. And this kid went out and balled out. And I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for that. Now you can go give me a bag to be a head coach somewhere, because now I proved I can do it with, top guy, not Lincoln Riley.
The just sheer talent that they have is amazing. So Jonathan Smith and the Michigan State Spartans will win how many games in 2024, Nino?
7.
Oh, okay.
I like that. That's a nice juicy number for me. All right.
Mhm.
They start out FAU. It's kind of like, let's see where we're at. Right. We're gonna have our guy who's in Childs, who's new, but they got Cam Fancer, who played very well for Marshall. I wrote a piece on him. I think he's a dual threat guy, so he'll be all right. FAU ain't gonna win, but it's gonna be measured on how they all gel early for Michigan State. So I think that's a dub there. I think they lose at Maryland. I think they lose that game. All right. Prairie View, that's a dub. Had a question mark at Boston College, because I think Bill could possibly get these guys at this point for week 4 in the season. I think this could be a battle. I think this could go either way. I'll give Michigan State it. It's Big Ten. It's a bigger program, bigger school. They're gonna have more 4- and 5-star guys. I'll give them that. So right there will be 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Ohio State. Lost to Oregon. You're off. I think they lose to Iowa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I don't think that they're ready yet. And obviously they're gonna lose next week to Michigan. They beat Indiana. They got an off week. I think they beat Illinois. I think they beat Purdue. And I think Rutgers has got a lot of holes on the defensive side. A lot of question marks. They do have a great running back. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's pieces that are missing from last year, this year, they haven't filled in yet. We haven't seen yet. So I think, and maybe by that time, it's the last game of the year. Maybe they have got it all figured out, and it's a better matchup than I think. But I think Michigan State will win that one. So I give them 7.
Okay. So,
but there's pieces. Like, you got to understand, there's a lot of pieces. They went out and did some work. Like, you got to say, they were running the ball for 168 yards, I think, a game out with Oregon State. They brought over 2 or 3 of those linemen over. They brought the quarterback over in Childs, right? They brought in the tight end and Jack Velling over. So, there's already that groove. You got Glover on the outside, right? I think he's going to step up. Maybe we will see Antonio Gates Jr. step up as a piece. I'm a big fan of Nick Marsh, true freshman, 6'3", 205. This kid is he just can get it done. He can play outside, contested catch guy. He can beat you in the boundary. So I think he's going to get some work, because I don't think they have a big body receiver out there. But they went out and got some pieces defensively. Wayne Matthews, 135 tackles, linebacker out of Old Dominion. So they went and did what he went and got his guys to the portal. Came over. I'm going to take my guys from Oregon State, and then I'm going to get pieces and plug them in. If they can get it to mesh well, I think 7 is a good number. Maybe 8, depending on if they can win when they're not supposed to.
Yeah, I like that. I'm buying stock on Jonathan Smith. I believe that they can certainly right the ship in East Lansing. So speaking of Jonathan Smith, let's talk 2-pack football. Which team will have a better record in 2024, Washington State or Oregon State?
So let's just run down the gauntlet here, right? Now I like Oregon State's QB. Most people have no idea who he is. Giovanni McCoy came out of Idaho. I know Dean now knows who he is. He's a dual threat guy. He can run around a little bit, but he's not going to run for 500-600 yards. But I should say dual threat. He's mobile enough, right? But I mean, the dude did throw for 3,000 yards. You know what I mean? 65% accuracy. He had 20 big time throws. So I do think he's going to be a fun guy to watch this year. So they're not starting from scratch with a kid that has no experience now that they lost Childs. But their record in their schedule will be, we got Idaho State, that's a dub. San Diego State, hey, don't knock Sean Lewis. That kid, that dude is an offensive guru. I think he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder
for sure.
After the whole Colorado
from
thing,
Boulder, for sure.
It's early,
so
I'm gonna give Oregon State that one. They're a bigger program. They're gonna get the doors blown off in the following week against Oregon. It's in Corvallis, so I'm going to say that they beat Purdue. But that's kind of where I'm at with
right
where they're at. You know what I'm saying? They got an off week. Colorado State could win in a shootout like that. Colorado State's going to put up points, but they're going to let up a shit ton of points as well. So let's say they win that one. So they got 1, 2. They got 4 wins, right? At Nevada, they'll take down 5. UNLV, I'm gonna go to L. I think they lose to UNLV. I think they lose
He
At
bought a lot
Cal.
of stock in UNLV
I,
last
I-
year.
yeah, I'm a big fan. I know it's at home, but I
Mm,
think UNLV, the coaching staff, that OC and Bren Marin, and the pieces that they have all
mm,
around them, these people sleeping on Matthew Sluka. He is going to take college football by storm, and you're going to be like, "Whoa, this Holy Cross kid! Holy smokes!" Off week, they beat San Jose State because they're missing so many pieces out there.
mhm.
Coaching staff is revamped. I think they can beat Air Force. I think they beat Washington State. I think they do, and I think they lose to Boise State. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7 to 8. They're right in that ballpark of 7, 8. Now Washington State, Portland State, that's a dub, right?
Mhm.
Texas State, you're at Pullman. I'm gonna have to give you that one because I don't know what we're gonna get out of Texas Tech. Is it gonna be Will Hammond? Is it gonna be the freshman QB? Are you gonna have the veteran kid in there? We don't know. I think there's so many pieces, so many things. I do know one thing: Taj Brooks is gonna run the ball. That's
Mhm.
one thing we all know.
Right.
So at home, yeah, you maybe could pull that one out. So I'll give them the dub there. So they're starting out, 2-0. Then they got the rivalry game. I'm gonna have to give this to Washington. I think Jed Fish probably have it figured out by this point, like what he's going to do. He's got his guys in there, so they'll lose that one 2-1. San Jose State, I think that's a dub. I'm telling you, San Jose State is not going to be what you guys thought last year. They had two dominant running backs. They don't have those running backs anymore. Yes, they have a mobile QB, but I don't know. I think they lost a lot of the work on the outside. They did bring back that wide receiver. He hit the portal, but he did come back. We'll have to see. I just think with the coaching staff getting ripped apart and stuff like that. So that'll be a dub there for them. They'll lose. I think they lose to Boise State. I'm a fan of Boise State this year. Then they got an off week at Fresno. That's going to be
That's a tough one.
oof. I think Fresno pulls that one out. I think they beat Hawaii. And then again, look, San Diego State Aztecs with Sean Lewis. But at this point in the season, I think this could be a battle. I think this could be a little bit of a slobber knocker. But I do believe that Washington State will win that one. Okay. Off. Don't sleep on Utah State. Don't sleep on Jalen Royals. Don't sleep on Spencer Petras out there. One last hoorah, possibly. But it's in Pullman, so they get that extra little buzz. So that's a dub. At New Mexico, I think they win that one. We already talked about the Oregon State game, and then they finished out with Wyoming. And it's interesting because if it was Wyoming with the old coach there, Craig Knowles, that I believe that was the old coach, I would say Wyoming would win this one, okay? Because they know what you're getting. Good defense, good run game, just battling out. We don't know. I got to see what we got.
You said that one's in Wyoming?
That one's at Pullman.
Is that Pullman?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it to Washington. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and about 7. 7 is where we're at. So I'm gonna go with 8 because I'll say Oregon State wins 8, Washington State 7.
Okay. I think, and this is kind of off script, I think that those teams should have fought for playing in the Mountain West Championship. Thus, I think they'd have had a much better chance at possibly playing in the college football playoff. Now, they have neither team has a chance of making a college football playoff.
I think they both knew that, though.
Yeah.
That's why it wasn't like, I got to hurry up and make a decision on where I'm going to go. They're kind of all rebuilding. Like, look at Oregon State went to Idaho to get their QB. And I'm not knocking Idaho, but you just went from, DJU and Aiden Childs to Giovanni McCoy. All right. So it's like, we got some figuring out to do here. Wazoo, they just lost Cam Ward. They got a QB battle going on. They don't know who's going to be their guy, right? They lost both receivers on the outside. So there's a lot of rework going on out there. They ain't ready.
And that's happened the last 2 years for Washington State.
So let's retool. Let's sharpen it up, polish up, see what we got here. If we got lemons, let's try to make lemonade for the year, and then we'll figure out if we're going to keep our stand here out west or where we're going to go.
All right. So, you've been like this big believer in the idea that there will be 2 super conferences similar to the NFL with the AFC and the NFC. And we see what's going on with the ACC, where teams are desperately trying to leave the conference over grant of rights. ACC signed a bad 20-year TV deal that goes through the 2035 season. And the payout is honestly lacking versus other conferences. You have the floor, Nino. why do you like the two super conferences? Also, how will this ACC thing end?
First of all, I think it's absolutely crazy that we talk about how bad the ACC is, and we talk
Mhm.
about how like this is all, but you have to pack whatever. Just it's gone. We don't talk about them no more.
Right, right.
No, nobody talks about it. It's still in
Mm.
existence. It's down to 2 teams, but like nobody talks about how much of a blunder that was because it's not the most recent thing anymore. We don't give a
Right.
shit no more. We want to talk about how the teams are pretty much going separating from the union. We're out. We're gone. We're gonna
Mhm.
go do our own thing.
That's 100% facts.
I've been saying it for a while, right? Probably right around my No Country for Old Men
Yeah,
spiel. That kind of seemed to work out to my benefit, right?
yeah, it did.
This is what they want. Because this is what ultimately the most money. What they get 3 point something billion dollars this year that they made, right? Like it's just how they can channel the most money from the biggest schools who are going to bring in the most money. And this is the easiest way for them not to get pinned to, right? They can do no wrong in a 48 team or two, two division 24 team thing conference. There's no do wrong. I can't do any wrong because they battled it out. The best of the best is what we called. They battled it out. We
That's a
gave
good
you the
point.
best of the best, and then we just put the other guys, the little gentlemen that we all question in whatever they want to call it, the G5, P5, GP5, whatever they want to call
However
it.
they want to word it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those guys, whoever wins that one, they get a bid. But we'll give them a bid. And maybe if there's a one-loss team who happen to battle a couple of top-ranked teams in one this year, well, we got space for them. We got plenty of room. We'll slide them guys in. But then it's the rest of these guys. It ain't my fault your team lost 4 games. You battled the same teams that everybody else had a chance to battle. You won't be battling all teams, but that's why I say that every game will matter. And I think this is the way, going back to my guy Macho Man Randy Savage, when they say the cream will rise to the top. Everybody liked parody until the parody didn't work out in your favor. Right? Oh, it's always Notre Dame, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. Those are the same guys we always see and they battle at the end. But then when it wasn't those teams, this is horse shit. This doesn't work. It's like, come on, man. You can't have your cake and eat it. So, you gotta work. It's gotta work. You gotta work with the system. Because when you didn't work with the system, we had to change. Everybody loved the computers until the computers got it wrong. Everybody loved the playoff until the playoff got it wrong. They're making it so there is no wrong. It's what this is Vince McMahon coming down and saying, we're going to go with the Royal Rumble. I'm going to put all my best wrestlers in one ring. You got 13 rounds. Figure this shit the hell out. And whoever's standing after 13 rounds, there's my playoff. You guys did it. I didn't do a damn thing.
And you can't argue that they're not the best.
No,
because they played the best the entire season.
Exactly.
So you could see a future where there's like 1 or 2 non-conference games, and the rest of your games are in that super conference.
Yeah, and those non-conference games will be in that CP3-5 conference or whatever. So you would play like Michigan would say Michigan or Oregon for example, right? You're in that two-tier 24-team leagues. You play say 13 games, right? 10 of them are in your thing.
Right.
3 of them or 2 of them are against the G5 conference. Whether it's the shitbag guy in there, whatever the ball rolls out in the process, or whether it's the number 1, that's what you get. But everybody's gonna get probably 1 at the bottom and 1 at the top. So don't bitch and complain.
It'll be no room for that. So let's talk about spring ball is in the air. I'm enjoying all the spring ball news that we be getting, but we're really about to hit the bulk of spring ball games that are coming up, especially in the month of April. Starting, I believe, like April 6th, we start getting a bunch of them. What spring ball games are you most looking forward to?
Texas. I've been that guy for a while.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna take the flag out now. I'm a Quinn guy. He can't throw the deep ball, huh? That's what everybody been saying. He can't throw the deep ball. I'm pretty sure. I know they're playing in the Spandex Survivor Series, just like the Combine here. But he's looking like he's spinning it this year, and maybe that's because Arch is out there with him, and he's got that little fire under his ass. But I want to see what goes on with that, like that running back room. I want to see who takes over. I still have hopes and prayers that Blue can come on and hold off Baxter for this one last hoorah, and maybe do or Jonathan Brooks and get some draft capital and some value there. Ole Miss, man, it's just
Oh my goodness,
it's not for me. I'm tuned into my guy because I think it's a shot, and Kedrick Reese-Cano. I think with all the things that have gone down, Logan Diggs gonna be out for a long period of time with an injury. Now Ulysses, is coming out saying he's gonna be out for start spring, possibly fall camp. And they're just letting my man take the reins here. And he is the prototypical guy for this offense. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he runs between the tackles. He's got good footwork. So I wanna see how he does against the big guys. Get some opportunity. Boise State, bro. I'm an advocate of Boise State as well. I want to see my guy Prince Stratham take that next step. I think Malachi Nelson's going to set the world on fire. They got a lot of people. They got that what's his Chris Marshall, right? I believe he had to leave, go to JUCO, and come back. He ended up coming over there, and apparently he's got his head screwed on right, so everything's looking good. So I want to see how that offense looks and how they can. I feel it's going to be a one and done. You're going to get a big season out of some of these guys. Gentry will have another big one, and maybe he hits the draft, or maybe he goes to a bigger school. I think Malachi Nelson's going to ball out, and he's going to, I call it the stepping stone team right now. This is where people are going, coaches, players. We're going to go there, put up these gaudy numbers, and we're going to step out and go somewhere else. Wake Forest. What are they doing?
That's an interesting one. I like that
one. What's going on at Wake Forest? Is it going to be, I believe there's a rookie, freshman. I say rookie like it's the NFL. But,
same meaning.
They got a freshman coming in there that's not supposed to take over. But then you got Hank Bockenmeyer, right? On his third team. He had a little bit of injury last year, so he didn't, get to put up the numbers that he wanted to. But we always talk about guys on their third team. It's got to be a place where he could, win the job. But I don't know. I think it's Jeremy Helsinki. That's his name. That's the freshman QB. I think he can make a run at Bachmeier, and I think there's a chance that he could push him. I think early on they might just give it to Bachmeier because they want that veteran presence to see. I know Michael Kern's there as well, but I think that Helsinki can get in there and earn some time. So that's because it's been since Sam, right? Sam has been the biggest QB out of there and probably the last 10, 15 years.
Easily.
Right? Yeah. So let's see what's going to be the guy post Hotman. I know last year was the first year, but that was kind of like, we weren't ready. You know what I mean? Now it's a year removed from it. Let's see what the answer is going to be. Obviously, they went out and got that vet, like I said, in Bachmeier, but I want to see what they do there because there's a lot of questions. They got very thin, unexperienced wide receiver room. Running backs are kind of like shooting fish in a barrel over there right now. Is it going to be Claiborne? Is it going to be Tate Carney? Who's it going to be? But I want to see what happens with the Demon Deacons and if they can, be one of them teams that can finally figure it out.
I think those are 3 fantastic picks. I want to see what's going on at Clemson. I think I'm gonna go to that spring game actually. I want to see how the offense is looking year 2 under Garrett Riley. I want to see what the current temperature of the program is as well. Last year we saw a spring game where it was the ones versus the ones. A lot of times with a lot of spring games you don't see that, but it was the best versus the best, and the defense definitely got the better of the offense. The offense looked terrible.
Yeah, I want to see Agent Zero healthy.
Okay? Yeah, that would be nice to see Williams healthy.
Maybe Klubnik finally figuring out the answers to the test.
I definitely want to see it, and I'm gonna definitely see it in person. From the view of the field, Maryland, Billy Edwards, MJ Morris. Have you heard any intel about what's going on? Who's looking? MJ Morris should win the competition, but I haven't heard anything.
Listen, you know how I feel about the ginger.
Yeah,
he's something else. But I think it's MJ. I saw a couple videos. MJ was slinging it around, but. It's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that. I think they're going to let them push each other in camp. I just think as an overall quarterback, I think MJ's better.
Yeah, I will have to agree with that. I do know though that the Terps, the team, love Billy Edwards. So
he's the juice.
Yeah. He really is. So I love to see that. Then I want to see your boys. I want to see what Dan Lannon looks like in year 3. I want to see what the temperature in Eugene is looking like. Yeah. I want to see it. I want to see Dante Moore spin it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Dylan Gabriel spin it. So those are the teams I'm looking forward to, and I like this group of teams that we've been able to put together for this.
Don't sleep on Austin Novosad.
Really?
I know. I'm not saying he's coming for Dante Moore's lunch. I'm just saying don't sleep on. Listen, when I lost Dante, I say that because I'm I'm a fan.
Right.
I was content when they signed Novosad. Like people like to sleep on. He's my Ethan Drunkenmeyer from this class. Like this, those are my guys. Oh, I like the top 5 guys, like the chalk guys. Everybody likes. Okay,
right.
We all know what we're getting. We thought so. We thought that's what we were getting in Dante Moore.
Right.
We'll see. This kid, I love these kids that got to prove something. They're coming in. They're still a 4-star, but nobody believes them. They got to prove what they got. They got to earn their keep, as so they say. Don't sleep on him. And for a loaded wide receiver room, they're saying he ain't gonna get no work. He's wearing a weird number. Everything I hear is Jerry and Dickey is cooking.
Really?
They love him. Everybody in that wide receiver room loves him. They coaches are saying that he is doing what they thought he was going to do. And he wears 95. He just don't give a shit.
Hey, that is fascinating, man. So I'm excited for spring ball, excited for the news, man. Hey, Nino, man, you go ahead and close this one out, man.
Listen, it's overreaction off season, but for us, it's never an off season. This is what we do. This is what we love to do. We like talking ball. But before I close this one out, I'm gonna hit my man with an off-chart question real quick, and then we're gonna go. Alabama wins how many games?
Alabama wins how many games? I got East Coast grinding this in the building. Let's pull up their schedule.
Because I think I might be a little different than where you're at. Just a slight tad.
Just a slight tad. Let's look at their schedule. Alrighty. So they play Western Kentucky home. Should win that one. South Florida is going to give them a hell of a fight. you know I'm a big believer in Alex Golis.
Byron Brown, baby.
If it was in USF, I might go them. So I think they start the season off 2-0. What Luke Fickell is bringing to the table this year? Wisconsin left a lot of meat on the bone last year. Then we seen them also look terrible in some games. Georgia Southern came in there and smacked them in the first half last year. So can they win that game in Madison? Let's say they lose that one. Let's say Luke Fickell get it together and they lose that one, right? So then you got both schools. Georgia will have 2 weeks to prepare, and Alabama will have 2 weeks to prepare.
Come on.
Now that one's at home. Let's say they lose that one. 2-2.
What if it's an embarrassing loss? Because that's what I think. I think
you think it'll be embarrassing.
He's gonna pull his pants down and slap him around like a little stepchild.
I think they beat Vandy 3-2. South Carolina game, if it was in South Carolina, I say them, but it's home. So I say they're 4-2 at Tennessee for that third Saturday in October. That's difficult.
Nico, baby.
Oh, that's difficult. Baby. That's difficult. That's difficult to say.
You say it. You say you're gonna say it. Give it to Tennessee.
I'm gonna give it to Tennessee. They 4-3. Home against Missouri. Luther Burden and Brady Cook. Jesus Christ. Cheese and crackers.
Yep.
I say they win one of these games either at Tennessee or at Missouri. That's difficult, bro.
What is Jesus gonna bless them in the late portal? Because if they're rolling out this lineup, Missouri is gonna cook.
Okay. And then at LSU, they're losing that one. They'll beat Mercer. At Oklahoma, depends. That'd be difficult though.
Jackson Arnold, after having a 3/4 of a season,
he should be lights out.
Come on,
that's tough.
7?
I would say 7 and 5 is probably the floor, with the
That
ceiling
has to
being
be
9 and
that
3.
has to be the floor.
Yeah.
Like 7 and 5, and they're not happy
Mhm.
in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
7 and 5, and they're already making calls for the next guy.
Yeah, that's not good. Bama faithful would not be happy. So what did you have?
I wanted to see where you were going to go with the Tennessee when I thought you were going to take Bama. So
Uh-huh.
I've been at 7. I think there's a possibility at 6.
You think it's a possibility of 6?
I think it's a possibility
6 will
at
be
6.
awful. 6 will be awful.
Because if they lose any more people in this late portal, shut the book. It's done.
But Kalen DeBoer has won everywhere. That's the only thing.
But he doesn't have Robin.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Ryan Grubb has been a catalyst. I've been saying this for 2 years. Ryan Grubb is the catalyst to that offense. He's gone, right? And it's either going to be my man Milroe or Alex Mack, right? Right? That's a true freshman. Which one you want to go with, right? And hey, Mizzou got Carroll. They also have another. They have 2 backs. I think they got, is it Nate Noel? I'm not sure. But they have 2 running backs they got in the portal. Kirby Moore is an offensive guru. We're seeing what he did with a D2 play last year, right? In Schrader. Theo Weiss on the outside. Burden on the outside. They're bringing in another true freshman. Yeah, my man East Coast grad from App State. Nate Noel. I'm hip, my man. I'm hip. So, hey, listen, I think Brady Cook, they bought in. They booed the kid the first 3 weeks, right? They booed the kid last year. First 2, sad. And then this kid just balled out the rest of the year. Do not sleep on Mizzou. I think that they can beat. I said 7, I think, is max. I think they run around 6. And I think you're about to see them burn the building down.
I can't wait till July 12th when I get my hands on EA Sports College Football 25 and I get to play some of these damn matchups and simulate some of this, bro. But it's been a great show, man. Thank you for everybody who's been watching us. Definitely growing to see a lot of people watching this in the off season, in the middle of March Madness. It lets us know that there's a lot of people like us. Hey, top 1%. There's no off season. Yeah, the generous, like my guy Nino said. Me and Nino got a movie out there. We're not going to display what it is, but don't be surprised if August 1 y'all see a trailer. Don't be surprised at all.